Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you my handheld collection and I'm going to talk about my favorite things about each and every model. So I'm going to start with the oldest console and work up to the newest. So this is my first one. This is my Game Boy Color. The shell is like a reproduction shell. It's not like an actual fancy special edition. It's just a fake version of a fancy limited edition, and I don't really care that it's fake. It's just I bought a motherboard off of AliExpress and a screen, and then I bought the shell itself off of like eBay, and I kind of just assembled it so I could get like a fancy Game Boy Color. I also like it because in a way it feels new. There's nothing wrong with buying secondhand, but I feel like all the ones I see on like eBay and stuff are really busted and are expensive for the condition that they're in, so I'd rather just put together my own. I also really like to play like the really old Pokemon games and the really old Hamtaro games on this. So my second console is the Game Boy Advance. Now obviously this shell is also like a non-original shell. The reason why I put this shell on it is because when I bought this at a secondhand game store, the original shell was like really cracked and it had like parts like rattling around inside of it, and then it also smelled really bad. And so I said, okay, I'll just take it apart and put a new shell on it, and I did, and honestly I like this shell better than the original pink that these came in. So, and again, I just like to play Pokemon on these, and Hamtaro, and Kirby. I forgot I play Kirby a lot too. My next one is this Game Boy Advance SP SpongeBob edition. Again, it's another fake shell. I find that a lot of Game Boy Advance SPs like are really in bad condition. I don't know what it is. Now this one I bought refurbished off of eBay, and so obviously it's like a fake shell and stuff. I kind of wish I returned it though, because like the screen is crooked. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. It probably looks okay on camera, but like it's like slightly slanted. And I don't really want to have to take it apart and fix it myself because these are much harder to take apart than the other Game Boys. But overall, I'll live with it. And again, I like to play the same games: Pokemon, Hamtaro, Kirby. I also play Harvest Moon too. I forgot about that. So it's pretty fun all around to have like a SpongeBob themed one. I really want the Pearl Pink version of this, like the original. I don't want like a reproduction shell, but again, I'm having trouble finding one that isn't like super scratched up. So, and then if it isn't super scratched up, then it's really expensive. So I don't know if I'll ever get one, but I can hope. So this next system isn't even like an official system from anywhere. It's called a Pow Kitty, and essentially it's just like a Chinese video game system, and it looks like the Game Boy SP, but it's a little bit different. The main purpose of this is to like emulate Game Boy and other retro consoles like Super Nintendo. The reason why I got it is because this is the one I actually like to travel with, so like if I ever get lost or broken, it's not a big deal. They're actually kind of cheap for what they are, and they play different systems. So again, here the only thing I don't like about it is that like there's like this screen protector on it. I don't know if you can see. There's like a bubble. There it is, like up here. And the screen protector is underneath the frame, so you can't take it off. So there's just this big air bubble just chilling right here. But either way, they take a little while to turn on. But again, like this is the one I brought with me when I traveled. I'm always afraid of like losing my real ones. That's why I bought a fake one essentially. So like if this gets broken or lost, again, it's not a big deal. They're easy to replace. And I definitely recommend these if like anyone wants to just get something that can do a lot of stuff in one for cheap. But here, I'll show it to you really quick. Again, I can do more than Game Boy, but I mostly just stick to Game Boy. Like, see, there's a bunch of different systems, but let's say I wanted to play, I don't know, Pokemon. It just emulates the game, and it runs off of SD, so you can put your own games on it, and you can back up your saves and all that stuff. Apparently I haven't played this yet. It's been a while, so, but you get the idea. So my next system is my Coral Pink DS Lite. This is what I would have had as a kid, but when I was like in 5th grade, I traded this in for the DSi, and I'll show you that one later, but this one, I really like the pink. I really wish I never traded it in, but that's okay. Because, again, as an adult, I can rebuy all these things. I really like how it came with, like, you know, Game Boy backwards compatibility. And overall, I just love the pink. I want every DS possible in pink. And I really have no shame in that. I just love the pink. Okay, next up is my DS Lite. This one is the one I had when I was a kid. I remember I got this because the only time I ever got straight A's, this was my reward for that. And I actually do like the blue. I know there is a hot pink color one of these, but I actually don't mind the blue. You can kind of see like the stylus is discolored from like all the use. But overall, I do like the DSi still. It still is very pretty. And I'm actually kind of proud of myself, my kid self, for taking such good care of it, because like I played this all the time, and at the most there's like some chipping right here, but honestly I don't think that's that bad. Because like again, if you go on eBay and like look at like Game Boys and DSi's, you'd be surprised how busted some of these people's stuff is. Like I get accidents happen, but it looks like some people had multiple accidents a day to their systems. So next up is my metallic pink DSi XL. I didn't even know these bigger ones existed until recently. And another reason why I like these a lot is because, or this one specifically, these play DS games like the biggest and the clearest. So like if you want to play DS games on your 3DS, that's fine. But I just see they end up to be like a little bit blurry. Or if you start up the game on a 3DS holding start and select, it'll launch it in like a native DS resolution, but it'll cut off part of the screen to make it not blurry. But this one, obviously, it uses the full screen, and it has the best resolution, so it's not blurry. And so it's like the best system to play original DS games on, honestly, in my opinion. So my next system is my Japanese 3DS LL. So obviously it's the bigger screened one, but it's a little bit of an older model because of the buttons down here. And this is the one I bought to homebrew. I really wanted just this color, honestly. But I couldn't find an American one. Well, actually, no, I found exactly one. And they wanted a lot of money for it. And it was really, like, in bad shape. So I'm like, it's not worth it. I'll just get a Japanese one and homebrew it. And that's exactly what I did. And I mostly use this just to play 3DS games. I don't really play the older DS games on it, but maybe someday I will, just to make sure that, like I said, like I know my DSi plays them the best, so that's why, or my DSi XL plays them the best, but I'll try it again on these eventually. So my next system is my Nintendo 3DS XL, or the new Nintendo 3DS XL. I bought this with like my first paycheck ever from a job. And I remember my parents were like, you didn't get a job just to buy video games with it. But I'm like, it's my first paycheck, let me do what I want. I think the difference between this and the LL is just like the amiibo compatibility. There might be more like better specs and stuff, but I think the big draw was the amiibo. I honestly wish though that the new Nintendo 3DSs had better colors. I'm not really a big fan of the red, but it was either like this or dark blue or black. Like there really wasn't a selection. So I just got this, and then I got this pom-pom case off of eBay from Japan. So that makes it just a little bit better. But I do like how the start and select buttons are actually really small. I never really play games with the 3D option though. It gives me a headache. I don't know if that's normal, but from what I understand, a lot of people didn't play with the 3DS features either. Last but not least, I have my 2DS. Now I know there's the other 2DS model that doesn't have a hinge, but I don't have one of those yet, and again, I'm having trouble finding one. But I wanted just a plain 2DS because I like the lack of the 3D feature. And obviously I didn't find one of these that came in pink, so I just got the Pikachu edition. Because I actually got this kind of cheap in an eBay auction. I don't know why nobody wanted it. I think it might have been because it was open box and not brand new in box. But overall, I really like it. It's really cute. I do use this one more often because another thing I find that like physically it's lighter to hold, so like if I'm like laying in bed or something, my arms get tired with the other models, but with this one, not so much. Like this isn't as heavy, so I really like that. All right, and that's all of my consoles today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.